All right, so let's just talk about this tour then. So I think the first thing that both of us were very shocked by was the overall branding and conception of the tour as the world is a vampire festival.
Because why?
Because
But I
why?
mean, we know why. We know why.
We know
But
why. But it's 2023 and we just put out a trilogy completing 33 song, 3-act rock opera that sold $500 box sets for, but we don't
mhm.
care about it anymore because
No,
we want
it's
to,
discarded.
it's
Like
discarded. We forgot it happened because we're just going to bring the wrestlers back on stage and we're just going to call it The World is a Vampire Tour.
yeah. Well, I'm gonna say I was shocked and not shocked
Okay. So talk about
because
that.
um, Billy discarding projects is nothing new.
Mm-hmm.
It's par for the fucking course if we're gonna be honest with ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And as much as I would have loved for a full scale balls to the wall autumn tour that was just like batshit crazy,
Yep.
um, that does not fit his MO as of late, which is just like leaning into the whole jukebox hit oldies shtick.
Yep.
So,
And I understand that because, and you and I have talked about this in terms of what his normal course of action is and also what his motivations are, right? Because as much as we've had, the list of abandoned Billy Corgan projects is 30,000 things long.
the
Um,
mile long
like it's
list,
a
yeah.
mile long list. But the reality is he has leaned in the past to a lot of his more esoteric ideas, right? If we want to call them that. Like he's done the Asheville residencies. He's done he
And
did
the
base
Oceania tour where he just was like, fuck you guys, I'm playing the entire album, which
correct.
I respected at the time.
And I did too. And I know that he got beat up for it, as he always says that he does, but I respect that he leaned into it. And I think that there's a fine balance there, right? Because it's in 2023, and I think it's very interesting that I'm sure COVID had something to do with it. I'm sure, his financial legacy for his two kids has a lot to do with it. And touring acts now are competing with so many touring acts that they need to draw people to the arenas, right? If they're selling arenas and
And
amphitheaters,
let's
it's a
not forget the hole he's seemingly dug himself into with the wrestling thing.
and
That is, to me, in my conspiracy, allegedly the biggest factor
and
in
and
all of that.
and it's totally valid. And then when you have dug yourself into a hole, or even if we're not entirely correct, let's just say that he's made a big financial investment into this project. He needs to figure out a way to manage some cash. He needs to figure out a way to bring some money in. And right now, he's competing with hundreds of acts trying to book arena tours, and he needs to draw people to stadiums and arenas and amphitheaters. So I
And they
get it.
supposedly sold last night out
But that was also a club
or
in
Friday night,
Vegas. Yeah,
whatever.
Friday night. But so it was a club though, right? Like it's not an arena.
It looked big as fuck from the like shit I saw on social media, and I was kind of like, what? But
Mm.
perspective can get skewed with those things. So I legitimately don't know anything about the venue. So
Right. But let's argue for a moment that it's sold out, right? Like and that's great. So then now let's dissect the actual tour a little bit. So I know that when the tour was announced, you and I went through a series of cycles trying to kind of unpack what this could all mean. And I think we concluded that at the very least, it was not going to be an autumn support tour, but it could have gone kind of swung either way because he's marketed things before in weird ways where we had a rock invasion tour where the one deep cut that we got was FOL, right? So it could have swung
which
that way.
was supposed to originally have been the big deep cuts tour.
Right, exactly.
So that was another shock, that cycle that I went through many cycles over. But after all that, I think we both definitely kind of realized that he's not going to be like playing hooray with some fucking robot like animatronics on the stage for some big production for Autumn. Like,
Correct.
we knew that wasn't likely whatsoever. And I think our baselines were both just like, please God, don't let it be a rehash of the very last tour. Because I very much feared that, you know, as we've called him out for, it was going to be the same, like, I, Ava, adore once in a lifetime. And mercifully, I think just I was dropped. But, like, he couldn't get rid of once in a lifetime for some fucking reason. Like, that seems to be his new, like, trademark. I don't know.
Well, and that's a valid point. So I agree. I think I had basically, and you and I both know on a separate matter, I'm really good at having the bar really, really low for people in my life. Like I don't need them to shoot for the lights out. So to your point, I was like, I just don't want the same set again, because we had basically the same set for the tour with Jane's Addiction, for the Australia tour, and for they had a couple of one-off shows in the US after. It's all been essentially the same set list, and I think we were both hoping for something more. And
the Australia tour set list did concern me.
I agree, and I think that if I were to be really kind of maybe analytical about it, they haven't been back to Australia in a while. They were playing these, I'm going to call them actual festivals. They weren't necessarily just one-off shows. It makes sense for that kind of crowd to go into the MCIS and Siamese Dream singles, and then Solara, I, and Ava adore. But I mean, that's all we got. And I got to the point where, and I know you, as much as you'll call me out on this, Jesse, to say that there's not a chance you weren't ever not going, I had mentally debated so much that, like, am I going to travel to see that show again? And so I was, again, hoping for the best, but expecting the worst. And I will say, let's now rewind to, I don't know, 36 hours ago when the show happened and we were living it out in real time. The set list ended up being the least objectionable thing about this whole tour so far. Like it's actually kind of exciting.
So, you know, like, as you said about how we both, like, are very good about setting the bar in hell, basically, for this kind of thing.
Right.
I've said before, like, Billy could kick a baby and I would find a way to excuse it. Like, he can get away with almost anything for me. And, I think I was, like, elated by the set list, even if it's not that great, due to, like, having set the bar so low. I was, like, pleasantly surprised with a lot of it. And I honestly don't really, as much as I would have loved, like, a full Autumn tour, just lean into it and be crazy with it. We both knew that. I mean, that was, like, pie in the sky anyway. But
right.
Yeah, I am very happy with it. I think we both have a couple, like, I'm really happy that Purple Blood is on it. I shit on Sear all the time and I don't like it that much, but that's, like, my favorite one from it. So,
well, and it's so interesting you say that, because I agree with you. I think my bar was so low, and again, as long as it wasn't going to be MCIS singles plus Solara, I, and Ava Adore, I think I was going to be okay. And there are some...
it is that, though, almost.
It is that almost, but it's different enough again. So to your point, Purple Blood is a great example. So you know what? Let's dissect the set list a little bit. So I just pulled it up on my phone, and it's actually a very, when we think about what he was trying to market as the Rock Invasion tour, and the, like, this set actually in many ways is kind of the Rock Invasion tour, of opening with Everlasting Gaze into Doomsday Clock. I think
that was the big one for me.
That's a big one.
Doomsday Clock was, like, anything from Zeitgeist.
Yes,
that startled me a little bit.
Well, and I think it only makes sense because, you know, despite the fact that Zeitgeist is not available anywhere unless you pirated it, the fact that they're marketing a 16-year anniversary or whatever year it is for no reason, and doing 16 year and doing a merch drop and whatever. So it's like, of the Zeitgeist songs, Doomsday Clock is great and a great opener, and first time something from Zeitgeist was performed by James. So I think that's pretty cool. And then we get into Once in a Lifetime again, which that in and of itself can be a podcast episode as to why we can't let it go. And then into Today. I know you don't love Perfect, but I actually like the song quite a bit, and I love that again. It's a song that hasn't been brought up in a while, so it's nice to see something different back into the fold.
I'm not mad at it. Like, not my favorite, but okay.
Exactly. And I think that it's a reasonable addition to the set list, given it was a single, there's a legacy. I get that. It's not,
and it's not a super played out single either. Like,
correct. So it actually makes sense. I don't mind it. We go into Disarm. I'm probably in the minority when I say this, but I could probably go the rest of my time as a Smashing Pumpkins fan never hearing Disarm live again, but that's just me. Now the Celestials. We knew that Something from Oceania was coming because of his weird, random ass
his story. Instagram story, like foretelling it.
And
he took a screenshot of a song. Was it the Celestials?
It wasn't. It was My Love Is Winter. It was My Love Is Winter.
And honestly, like, he kind of fucking, now I feel a bit disappointed because I would have much preferred My Love Is Winter, but okay, take a screenshot of the better song and then play something else. But
well, and so it's so funny you say that, because I agree. I like My Love Is Winter more. I think the guitar solo of My Love Is Winter is better. But again, I'm not mad at it. It's a little bit of a again, another milestone, in that it'd be the first time an Oceania song is performed by Jimmy and James. So that's pretty cool. Sorry, so Celestials, yes, My Love Is Winter, the better song, but great.
I still like the Celestials, so I'm okay.
Mm-hmm. And I love that first time Jimmy and James playing on an Oceania song.
But I had said I would love for him to break out Violet Rays, which I know you have some aversions to that lyrically.
Yeah, like and aversion is not the right word. I just think I think it's.
I think you told me that like it disgusted you at one point, but
well, okay. So for context, I don't have that type of interest in Billy. So to hear him proclaim that he's so easy and he's he'll kiss anyone tonight, like I'm like that's a little too much for me. But I like the song. I don't hate the song. So I'm okay with that. And then we move into, to your point, a cool choice is Purple Blood. So since the Sear tour, nothing from Sear has been played other than Sear. And I think that was only taken off the set list very recently. So if there were any of the other songs from the album to be put on there, I agree. Purple Blood isn't a bad choice. I like the song quite a bit as well.
And kind of mercifully taken off the set list, in my opinion. I mean, I'm done. I'm fucking done with it.
You're done with him dancing to the...
I'm done.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't hate the song. Like, I actually think it's a well-crafted song and everything, but we can just stop. Just do something fucking else from the album.
Well, and that's exactly it, too. My fandom towards Sear has actually probably increased over time. But the title track is actually, I would put that in canon. Like, I actually think that's a really well written, well crafted song. Mm-hmm. But I agree. I don't need to see him dancing to it anymore. So,
he's gonna fucking dance to Ava, and let's put dance in fucking air quotes too. I'm too lazy to do it, but like,
yeah,
I don't know what the fuck that is, but it's not dancing.
It's to be fair, it's the same moves from the Ava Adore music video. But
not really. It was so much hotter 30 fucking years ago. I mean,
and that again is in and of itself yeah.
Can I just briefly bring up the like Uncle Fester shroud he's been wearing the freaking like Mason logo? Can we stop with that shit too and like come up with something better?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we're asking for too much again, but that's
like for an outfit change.
But the Uncle Fester white makeup, like it's a lot. It's a lot.
I'm okay with the makeup because it's you gotta pick your battles. But he's like worn the fuck out of that like tunic or whatever it is by this point. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's nitpicking at this point, but I've just got to say it.
And that's fair. And I think that fashion choices can, in and of itself, again, be another episode. So all we're doing is we're planning our entire podcast right now, is what we're doing.
Okay. Yeah, well, put a check mark on that shit on that later.
One. Yeah. Yeah, so Purple Blood, good choice. I like the song. I don't have any issues with it. I have other songs from that era that I would have loved as well, but I'm okay with Purple Blood. No issue. Good choice. And then we run into some singles. So we have Ava Adore, Tonight, and Bullet. Bullet has been more so in the opening few songs of the set for the past little while. So they've buried it in the middle a little bit as more of a peak or plateau or something like that in the set list, which is whatever. We expected those, I guess. And then this
can't
one.
Let those go.
Can't let those go. No. and to be fair, Ava Adore probably could get let go at some point.
See, that's what I'm glad you brought that up, because I've actually been thinking about it. Like, I know it's an iconic song. I love the song, but I'm actually starting to kind of like be a little resentful of it due to him just fucking plowing it into the ground in these shows lately.
Right.
I think it's, I understand the motivation to play the melancholy singles, like, no matter what.
Yeah.
But with Ava Adore, like, put it away for a little while is my thought.
Right.
When did that become on the same tier for him as like a Zero or a Bullet with Butterfly Wings, and like, I'm not even gonna mention, like, I don't know why the fuck I was on that same tier for a while either. Right. But like, even with Ava Adore, like, I'm not even, to have nothing against the song, but like, why do we think that suddenly became the it song to push for a long while now?
And I think, and this is just my theory behind this, and I think a lot of it had to do with getting to a point where he, I don't want to say made the programs or whatever, but like, there are some electronic elements here with the right. the eye into Ava Adore kind of moment, and it's like, he programmed the loops and the shit, and then you press the button and then he can go do his little dance. And it just became a little bit of complacency. Like, that's just kind of my theory behind that. I don't know how true that is. Okay. Because to a point, as a song, don't get me wrong, I actually love I as a song. I love Ava Adore as a song.
Me too.
And I love the live performances. I love the guitar solos. I love it. But it's like, all right, we've seen a lot of that. We've seen enough. And I think one thing you said to me that was very interesting the other day as well was, at this point, they've been reunited for so long. If you are kind of a casual fan that wanted to get back into this, you've had like 6 tours of opportunity now to go and see the hits and to see the greatest hits show, to see the shiny, the 33 song shiny set and all of that. You had that chance. And I think that to try to at least mix it up a little bit would be great. But I'll take the partial mix up. At least I is now off. And
look at us taking what we can get.
This is, again, we're gonna have to send this recording to our respective psychologists to just
Actually, this is like the tip of the iceberg. I think once we start getting into,
oh yeah, it's gonna get worse. But let's talk about let's talk about the next song, which is exciting. And for me, for me, that this made me squeal and made me very, very excited. But this time is put back onto the set list. Now, I'm going to try to hold in my excitement a little bit, because I will say that this is going to make the entire tour for me. And I there's not a chance that I'm going to sit out on this. This time is one of my top 5 favorite songs ever, not just SP songs, but my favorite top 5 songs ever. I'm a big Machina fan. That was always my record. That record meant so much to me. And the way that the song is produced, the way that James's guitar leads are, the lyrics, everything about that song to me it sends chills down my spine. And I never thought that I would ever have a chance to ever see it live, because I never thought that it would ever really be brought back out again. So when this came on and I saw it, I lost my mind.
Yeah, I was extremely excited too. I'm also a Machina person. I mean, like, I was around for the Adore drop, but I was like 12. It's like I
Right.
listened to it and stuff, but I was 14 when Machina hit, so that was just like the perfect storm of the teenage angst and that hitting at the right time. So that I agree is like also sort of my album too. I mean,
Right.
and I'm trying to think what he's even played from Machina. Like he'll play Everlasting Gaze and I think Eye of the Morning somewhat recently.
Yep. And Stand Inside Your Love is typically,
Well, yeah.
yeah, is the typical one. But other than Eye of the Morning and the Everlasting Gaze, you're right. There hasn't been much. I think they did try during the Shiny tour. But yeah, like it hasn't been much. Would I love to hear songs like This Time or Age of Innocence or like have those brought back out? Of
Crying
course.
Tree of Mercury. I was praying for that one, but
Well, and we at least we got that one for Ravinia. That was a good one. But yeah, so I'm excited for This Time, and I watched the YouTube clip of it the other night or last night. And when James does his lead solo on the Evo, it literally sends chills down my spine. Like that is probably one of my favorite guitar moments. And I'm getting emotional thinking about it because again, going back and forth of maybe not even going. I have some stuff going on in my life right now. I'm kind of in this weird kind of depression state. But this was like, all right, I'm gonna be there. I need to hear this song in real life. So I'm very excited about that.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I did watch the video of it as well. And I got like goosebumps, as did I from the opening of Doomsday Clock. And then
True.
I'm just gonna have to put this out there. Like, I did seriously LOL at like Jeff's random ass fucking 80s shredding at the end. Like, what even is that? I know that's like what you do, but
Well, and
seems misplaced to me. And like, go off, I'm here for it, but I'm just saying, like,
well, and I think it's so fascinating. It's like, and again, I mean this with respect. It was Jeff's moment, right? Like I feel like, like he's been
that was your moment. Okay.
like he's been on this ride for 15, 16, 17 years. We know that Ace Frehley is his favorite guitarist and he likes to do this 80s shredding thing. And it's like, of all the songs on the set list, to give Jeff a moment, I guess the last 15 seconds of Doomsday Clock is his moment.
After all that he has fucking endured with Billy, like, I think people forget he has been in the band, I don't want to say twice as long as the original members were during like the first run, but he has put up with a lot of shit in like resolute fucking silence. Like, I don't know anything about this man other than he must have nerves of steel because
I agree, and you think about it, it's the because he's been consistently in the band since 2006, right? Because Zeitgeist came out in 07, so he's been in the band since 06. So that's and it's been consistent, right? Even Jimmy has been in and out.
We haven't heard of any blow ups or like this man will not fight Billy. He's just like whatever.
And you know what? All I can say is respect because I could not. Like I could not. Darcy couldn't. James couldn't. Jimmy couldn't. Like I couldn't. So it's
like, I don't know if I respect that. Okay, I don't want to say I don't respect that, but I mean it baffles me.
Yeah.
It makes me want to know more about Jeff because like I'm ready to psychoanalyze this person and see how he's endured all of I don't want to say with a smile, but without any drama.
And in many ways, that's all you can hope for, right? It's like the best case scenario is no drama. Like you're because I think getting a smile is an impossibility. So if you can't get, so like if you can at least get it without any drama, that's a win.
I mean, I'm just gonna say, and we can cut it out. I've nicknamed him Jeff Bot and wondered if he's fucking AI in some kind of like android body for having somehow endured all of that, but wow.
I know.
Props to him. Just props to him. That's all I can say to close out that bit of
No.
discord.
And that's fair. And that's fair. All right, so let's push through the set list because there's not that much more exciting stuff coming because I want to talk about the merch next.
Oh yeah, okay.
So the next part of the set list we have Spellbinding. Not the first song from Autumn actually doesn't hit the set until more than halfway through. Which
There's like what 2 songs? There's like nothing.
There's 3, so we get Spellbinding, Empires, and Beguiled. So
which is not to be unexpected.
No, not to be unexpected at all. Okay, so Spellbinding, we get Spellbinding, Empires, and Beguiled from Autumn, and the first one doesn't come till over half the set, so we know this is not in any way the Autumn tour, which is...
And I think we predicted 4 to 5 songs, and we got even less than what our low bar had been set at.
Well, and exactly, and again, just for context on that, looking at the Machina era, we were getting anywhere from 40 to 60% of the set list being Machina era songs.
You saw the set list I sent you of my show.
I think
it felt very much like a Machina show at the time, which I was thrilled with. I mean, like...
Well, exactly. And I think so. We're not even anywhere close. So instead of having another Autumn song, there's a cover of a song called Hubble Bubble. I don't know.
Which we were both like,
what the hell? But okay, sure. But then the exciting one that does come out of this is Jelly Belly. Now, I love that song. I never thought I would ever have a chance to hear that live as well. I think is one of Jimmy Chamberlain's finest drumming kind of moments. I saw the video of it. It's hard to fully analyze how like a fast rock song like that sounds live just via video, just because you have the audio is never that great. But I'm excited for it. Never thought that would make it on here. And as a melancholy song,
random. That was a curveball.
It was. But if it's the one that replaces We Only Come Out at Night, I'll take it.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Jelly Belly was never like one of my favorite songs initially when I first got into the album. But I mean, I was like freaking 10 or 11. Yeah. But it's definitely grown on me. Excited to hear it live. Yeah. I don't believe I ever have. Like, I
haven't. No. Yeah, because I would have been way too young for the Melancholy tour, and I don't believe it's ever been played since then.
Okay. Yeah. So definitely not then.
Yeah.
And
so that's exciting. And again, it gives us some hope in that, again, this is the deep cuts tour that we never got, because that's probably one of the deepest cuts that's on this record, that's on the set right now. So it's a good call. And then we're going into Empires, Hummer, Beguiled, 1979, Cherub, Rock and Zero. So then the regular stream of predictable
throwaway segment of
it's like it's like don't get me wrong, Hummer's not a throwaway, but by the time we get to Beguiled, I'm good to go take a leak if I need to. So so I mean, do I need to hear Beguiled, 1979, Cherub, Rock and Zero again? I mean, yes, but also no. So
I'm at my wit's end with these melancholy singles. Like, dude, especially since I'm like a sick fuck who, like, I saw 5 shows during the, like, Shiny tour. And, like...
Oh, yeah, you did. That's right.
And I mean, like, seriously, like, the amount of shows that I've fucking seen in general at this point, and I understand not everybody is, like, a crazy person like me, but just from my perspective, I'm fucking done with it all. Like, I feel like 10 years ago, I could have never heard him play Zero or Bullet live ever again and have been just fine.
Right.
But I also understand that can't happen, and I'm okay with it. What are you going to do at that point?
And I think that's the valid point, is that I've reached the point of acceptance. I thought that it was... I do think that there's a balance, right? Because if you recall, going back 10 years when he was so adamant that he didn't want to be a nostalgia act and he wanted to play Oceania all the way through.
How the tables have
turned. Right. And it's like I do remember that period of time where he just refused to play 1979. And the only time that he would be at those VIP things. Like, could you imagine paying $1,000 for a VIP and all you get is 1979?
Dude.
Like,
can I just say, I like fucking loved that era. Like, I loved the washed up era like the pre-reunion post-zeitgeist washed up era, because it was like anything goes.
Yeah.
I mean, you got like all kinds of amazing songs. Like nobody was really there. Nobody gave a shit. Like Billy was in his size kids medium chic shirt, like
I was just about to say the chic belly shirts.
We got these slutty outfits and deep cuts. Like I was living for it.
Right.
So
and I agree. And I think that I think that there's a fine line, right? Because I think we do have to fundamentally understand that there is an artistic component that, and maybe just for it to be completely transparent, you and I will say, are among the group of fans that will completely support the advancement of his artistic endeavors, right? Because we both purchased the $500 autographed autumn box set within seconds. Like we are not play Machina. We're not Give Us the Metro Show. We're not play Spite Face. We're not those kind of fans. Like, sure, we like to joke about it.
I mean, I've yelled play Spite Face like several times just to troll him, but do I give a shit now?
But the reality is we want him to be an artist, and we want him to continue to make music. We're critical about it, but then
I will support anything I will listen and support. I mean, except Aegea. I bought it though, so does that count?
So at least you did that. I never bought Aegea. But I guess my point is that, like, I think that there's a fine line between refusing to be a nostalgia act and having a fine balance, right? Because at this point, there's a business to run, there's money to be made, and let's be honest about that. He has a family to support, and he has checks to sign. he has vegan meatballs to make. Like I mean, it's very real. But I do think that if we were to look at the set list kind of in totality, do I think that there would have been a little bit of benefit to make it a bit more balanced? Maybe take out one of the covers or both covers and throw in another autumn song. Maybe do we need 1979, Cherub Rock and Zero, all three in a row at the end?
Well, and we didn't really address this, but it's also, okay, I know it's the big 16th anniversary of Zeitgeist, but the other day was Siamese Dream's 30th anniversary.
Right.
And I was kind of hoping for a deep cut from Siamese Dream in its honor.
Sure.
And that is like kind of my major, not even criticism, I'm just a little surprised about that not having been included.
Right. And it's you, because I think you had said it would have been even cooler if that Siamese Dream cut would have been something like Luna or something a little bit more obscure. But I mean, from Siamese Dream, we get Today, we get Disarm, we get Hummer, and we get Cherub Rock.
But those are like kind of standard plays.
They are, right? And I think that's the thing. But at least we got Hummer, I guess, because Hummer hasn't been on the set for a while. But if it were Hummer or Rocket, I think that would have made sense. I would have loved Mayonnaise because Mayonnaise. But but yeah, if I got Geek USA as an example, or if I got Luna, that would have, I think, been significantly cooler, if you want to call it that.
I'm okay with what we got. Like, I'm not a Siamese Dream zombie. I'm a Monument zombie. So.
Right. And you got 0 monuments on this. Oh man. You couldn't even get some anti-hero on this.
Dorian.
Couldn't get Dorian or Run to Me.
I love Run to Me. I don't give a shit what anyone says. It's
You know what, my friend? You do you, because at the end of the day, even if I tease you and troll you about it, you know that I'm just like, you know what? I respect that you don't give two shits about anything, and I love that. So,
but I think my biggest criticism, I'm like, this is a measure of how low we've set the bar. I think my biggest criticism is why the fuck is Once in a Lifetime still on this?
Well, and that's the thing.
At least switch to another established guy. I was like joking, like do the Joker. Right. Like bring out, and like he did do Never Let Me Down Again semi recently, which was good.
Right. That was great. That was great to bring that one back out for sure.
And I was shocked because I didn't even remember this to see that Once in a Lifetime was on the very first the set list of the very first. I was like laughing because I did
Yeah.
not recall that.
No, they they
Just
they they did that during Machina to begin. Yeah, for sure. So
God, just get rid of it already. It's not good.
just don't replace it with the 17-minute version of Set the Controls for the Heart of the Sun again.
I'd be more okay with that. I
Oh
love
dear
it.
Lord.
I love
Oh,
it when he rolled and
so you know what? Let's pivot a little bit because okay, we've discussed the set list.
have we gone over the whole thing at this point
We've
now?
gone over the whole set list. There was
Okay.
no it looked like there was no encore and it just ended with the string of hits ending with
That's
zero
kind
and
of
that was
odd.
it. Well,
That's a little odd, but
I don't think they did an encore on the Jane's Addiction tour either. I think they ended without an encore too. I think. So,
it's a blur for me. I don't even know.
but yeah, so we get the set list, but to your point, okay, sorry, before we got cut off, it was okay, we're done with Once in a Lifetime. I don't know why. Bring back Set the Controls if you must. Bring back Stairway to Heaven. I don't know what other ones. There was Fame.
No, the big one, Britney Piece of Me, which I think
Oh,
would
that's
be
right.
very timely considering that she's coming out with that tell-all.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. That would be fun. I loved how do you remember when they did a cover of Human League's Don't You Want Me? That was one of my
Yeah.
favorites. That was one of my favorites. Like, bring back an unhinged cover like that and get rid of Once in a Lifetime. Like, come on.
Yes.
Like, we do not need Once in a Lifetime anymore. Um, but okay, so this next part of our conversation may go off the rails. So I think
I'm already experiencing a cortisol dump just thinking about it.
I know. Okay. So I don't even know where we begin. Do we begin with speaking about the person who is currently tasked with overseeing the branding, merchandising, marketing, PR space for the band? Or do we just jump right into the ugly ass, what the fuck is this kind of thing? Where do we want to start?
Since you're on your computer,
Yes.
why don't you just pull up the merch and we can go over it sort of piece by piece and then we'll dive into that other aspect.
Sure. So give me 1 second while I pull up a picture of the merch and then we can talk about it. And the reality of it is that we're only going to start with the merch that is on this tour. We're not even talking about
just the new merch.
Just the new tour merch. We're not even talking about all the other ridiculous shit that we've been seeing for so long. So
that would become its own episode. So we'll just dissect.
Yes. All right. Are you seeing my screen share right now?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So for our audio listeners, we're looking at some photos from the merch table, which was, I think, again, zero effort being put into this at all.
Dude, the zero save zero is the first thing that my eyes go to, and in a bad way. I'm just like,
right. So the autumn T-shirt has the font from the box set at the very top with a picture of a space android on the front that says Autumn, a rock opera in 3 acts, and on the back it says in gigantic lettering zero save zero in, I guess, Times New Roman. In all caps Times New Roman, with a little SP heart underneath it. Now, to your point, you and I have talked about this, about what the hell has been with the design choice to put gigantic, ugly block lettering all.
We are in a real lyric tee era, and for better or worse, that is what we have been presented with.
Mm-hmm.
I fucking hate it.
Well, and the thing is that, you know, and again, you and I have talked about my love for band tees and band hoodies and all that kind of stuff, and I don't have any problem with having cool designed merch and to walk around being a billboard for my favorite bands, but I cannot be a billboard for my favorite band in a t-shirt that has a freaking android on it that says zero save zero all over the back.
You
Like,
know what?
I just
I could
can't.
have done the Android. I could have done the stupid Android, but then, and that's my problem with a lot of it. Like, the front will be okay.
Yeah.
Like, I could do this. And then there's just like embarrassing lyrics and like also a lot of it, and this is delving into past merch releases, is just like weird lyrics that don't even stand out for me a lot of the time.
Right.
On top of the fact that it's just something that I would know. And like, like I will proudly wear that like religious effigy of Billy t-shirt in public with no problem. But this is like a bridge too far, even for me.
Yeah. And like, don't get me wrong. And again, you know that some of the other bands that I love are not necessarily the most mainstream popular, but I'm a big Slipknot fan, right? And their merch can be very intense with pentagrams and gigantic lettering and all that kind of stuff. But I'm less embarrassed to wear that out in my middle prairie religious kind of world than I would in my zero save zero shirt. So like I just can't, and I just can't. But okay,
I can't either.
So the autumn shirt is ass. Then right next to it is this baby blue zip up hoodie with white screen prints everywhere, with the world is a vampire little devil frown logo on the front chest, all over the sleeves. And then the current tour font, which is super ugly, all on the back with some tour dates. It looks
I don't hate the current tour font. Like, it has like kind of retro vibes, but I don't love it either. I'm not gonna like stand for it or anything.
And fair enough. And maybe I don't want to. And you know, if, of all the things I could be objectionable about, it's not something I'm not going to be objectionable the most. But I'll pick my battles. But then it's like the design effort that went into creating this hoodie was so low. Like the back is literally just that giant, the Smashing Pumpkins, and then all the tour dates written in white font, and then tour 2023 in white.
That's like, a little standard. Okay, that is like somewhat standard for just a tour shirt to have something like that on the back of it.
So I agree that in concept it's standard, but like, I don't know, put all the dates in a vertical column, vertically aligned. Like, I don't know, there's just something, a design aesthetic that
it's something off.
Yeah, the design is the issue, not the concept of having the tour dates on the back. I hate this hoodie. I hate it. I hate it.
And we're both hoodie fans.
We are.
You know, we're both wearing hoodies currently. Like,
I slept in this hoodie that you're currently seeing me in. So like, exactly. And it looks cheap. It looks flimsy. It's $80 American, which means it's probably gonna be 120 Canadian. I can't justify spending $120 on that. But
I am literally having war flashbacks to the last hoodie that she put out that we were both like, this is really gross. She has some kind of affinity for just slapping all kinds of graphics and shit and lyrics along the sleeves.
Yeah.
And I am a big fan of that kind of sleeve embellishment.
Yeah.
So for me to like consistently hate her choices in that arena, like something's not right.
I agree with you. I love hoodies that have screen prints on the sleeve. Trust me, I really do. And you'll be able to appreciate this. You know the type of look that I find attractive in a significant other. A lot of workwear, like, you know, like a Carhartt shirt or a hoodie or whatever, will have like gigantic ass logos on the sleeve. And I'm like, oh, that's hot. But why does this look so ass? So it doesn't.
Oh my God. We haven't even gotten to the fucking hat yet, Chris.
Yeah. Okay. So let's
start with that. Let's just start with the damn hat.
Let's start with the damn hat. So we have I guess a day before the tour started, there was a Insta story with a close up of a dad hat.
Extreme close up of a dirty, like
yes, it could have used a lint
Dick
roller.
Is all akimbo and all askew. Like, it looked like the stitching was just fucking busting open. And this is like a brand new hat that just came out.
Correct.
Like, wasn't even lint rollered. Like, I'm just gonna be nitpicky about that because if
No.
I'm gonna even nobody follows me, I'm a nobody, but if for some fucking reason I were to put up a picture of one of my hats on my Instagram stories, I would have lint rollered it at the
Right.
very bare minimum.
Agreed. So the logo of the hat is is it the devil, the frown devil, the
Yeah,
world of the vampire frown devil with the
yeah,
world of the vampire on it
with the same
with
font or whatever.
with the
Yeah.
same lettering. Now the close up of the dad hat that we saw had the stitching in orange,
Like
and
a burnt Halloween orange, which I think we both agreed we hated.
we hated.
Correct me if
And
I'm wrong.
I mean, I hated it. And the funny part was that I think at one point, I forget if it was Billy's account or if it was the SP account, it said that this is an exclusive for VIP merch purchasers only. And I thought
It was Korean
it was Korean,
letting us all know that only the VIPs would be allowed access to that
right. So then,
idiot hat.
and then at the time in my head, I'm like, I paid $1,000 for VIP at Smashing Pumpkins, and all I got was this ugly dad hat. Like, I'm just like, wow, okay. And then the best part is that when pictures of the merch booth leaked online, I think you and I, Bird, looked at each other to be like, hold the fucking phone. So
Big
the ugly
gag was everybody else gets access to a marginally more attractive version of the VIP
VIP hat
exclusive hat.
in baby blue instead of orange. Like, what? Like, we're living in the fucking Twilight Zone, Jesse. Like, this is the fucking Twilight Zone. What the fuck? What the fuck? It's like she literally went, and again, this is not meant to be disparaging to these people, but I just think to myself, like, these were very, like, whichever vendor they hired to make this, it was a very low budget friendly purveyor. Like, these are not high quality.
Expensive items.
They're expensive items. They're being sold for high prices, but the quality of it looks very poor. So
they are charging a high amount for these items.
And I guess again, this is another point of shrinkflation, right? It's like, all right, we're gonna instead of going to the $5 per hat vendor to get the stitching right and to make it look less ass, we're gonna go to the $3 vendor to make an extra $2 per hat. Like,
it was giving sweatshop, and I don't even say that lightly. Like, I mean, damn.
Well, that's what I said. I don't mean to be disparaging towards that type of, commerce, but it's like, this is dollar store quality. Like, it really is.
I don't have any kind of problem paying the prices that they are wanting to charge for these, but I mean, I go to other shows, I buy merch at other shows, and I was telling you the other day, as I worked an event, I bought a fucking t-shirt for an AC/DC cover band that, like, was leaps and bounds higher quality than some of the recent Smashing Pumpkins merch I've purchased. Like, what are we doing?
I agree. Like, I recently went to a metal show, and the t-shirts were kind of the same price, $50 a t-shirt essentially now is kind of average. But it's very soft. The logo is very well printed. It has one of the tags that you could just rip off so you don't have the tag stick. Like, it was a very nice band shirt. But these are like the Gildan, super thick, boxy, not good shirts to begin with. And like they're scratchy and they don't feel good. And it's just like, I don't know. I haven't had a good quality SP shirt since the Oceania era, actually. But anyway, so the dad hat. Have we disparaged the dad hat enough?
Yeah, let's just get the basic tour t-shirt.
Okay.
Out
so
of
the basic tour t-shirt is a black t-shirt, which again is probably a Gildan boxy fit unisex, not very comfortable and scratchy, with the World is a Vampire logo all over the front in like full, like you can't hide it. It's all over the front. And then again, all over the back is the Smashing Pumpkins with the tour date, tour 2023. And then looks like there's something on the sleeve.
A sleeve logo.
Sleeve heart. And it looks like it's like in a baby blue, a light blue kind of thing. The sad part is I'm probably gonna buy one, but I don't want to wear
hate it.
I don't hate it, but I don't want to wear it either. Like, I don't hate it.
Me neither. I'm probably gonna, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, I'm
Yeah.
probably gonna fucking choke when I get up to the merch table. But
Right.
I'm just gonna say, like, we could have done better
Yeah.
with this. Like, I mean, oh God, I don't know. It's not the worst thing that we have seen come out of the mill lately.
No, but and maybe this is again because of my own sick fetish, but if that World is a Vampire shirt were a pullover hoodie instead, I would probably buy
Mhm.
it. I would for sure buy
It
it.
would have been an improvement over the blue thing with
Yes.
just the little like devil buddy guy emblazoned a million times, copy and pasted over the sleeves.
Yeah. It's
Like,
I
mm-mm.
don't know. Um okay, so that's the regular tour shirt. Now there's a Smashing Pumpkins shirt with a an alien Billy with a zero. There's some
Like the
there's some
deformed Billy. We saw the rise of this like deformed Billy concept throughout the posters
yeah,
in the last tour, which I
correct.
was like all on board for. And I think they had some like Billy with a third eye imagery.
They did.
So we're kind of bringing that back here, and it's like the signature Smashing Pumpkins crayon drawing style.
Yeah, and
Yeah, some crayon art.
yeah, and again, what I'll say is this actually to me the imagery actually harkens a lot back to the tour poster for the Arising tour. So I actually kind of like this for that reason.
And can we just like discuss how unhinged it is that like okay, it's like Billy in a fucking Illuminati pyramid, like a
Right.
crayon drawing of Billy in like an esoteric pyramid,
Yeah.
ripping off a button up, what appears to be like a white button up, to reveal his iconic Zero shirt.
Yes.
He's like kind of mutated and has a third eye.
Yeah.
I'm living for how fucking nuts this is, and I'm gonna buy like three.
Again, if this were in a hoodie form, I think I would actually really want it. But yeah, I'm probably gonna buy one too. It's the one that's gonna cause the most people on the street to be like, what the fuck? And in many ways, I don't hate that.
I think I'm subversive a little bit because, I'm like perverse. I have like a problem with Billy, and I wear the it reminds me of, it's not as good, but it reminds me of like the Billy and Religious Regalia shirt from the Shiny tour, which I was obsessed with.
Right.
And I'm here for it. Like, I'm glad that they did something in that vein.
Sure. And again, that's why
It's campy. Like,
well, exactly. And I think that's why, again, I go back to the point of all the poster designs, and we'll get to the poster designs again a little later, but to go back to the poster designs from the last tour, to go back to like the Arising tour and a lot of these, again, more esoteric kind of illustration type of moments. I don't hate this. I really don't. It's fine. But then again, I have to be mentally prepared for people to be like, what the fuck? And I don't know that I'm there yet. So
one final point to that shirt. Does
yes,
it not give a little Tear Garden for you? The Tear
it
Garden,
does.
like marker and crayon artwork, like
It does. So that's why it's a weird amalgam, right? Because the font choice is from the Shiny tour, and it's from more of a seer era font of the Smashing Pumpkins. The overall aesthetic I think would align with the Tear Garden crayon drawing, weird tarot Illuminati yeah, that all kind of fits in that Tear Garden vibe, but then it also again fits into the Arising vibe. So it's kind of like this merge of eras for me. Not in a bad way or a good way, just this is how I feel about from
right.
an perspective. So yeah. Okay. Now we're going to get to maybe, let's call it, more offensive things. So there is a Siamese Dream 30th anniversary shirt with the original Siamese Dream logo. Siamese Dream album cover on it, with a little star at the bottom corner that says SP30 on it. And then on the back in the Murder She Wrote font is 30 years of just saying maybe. And
Is that an obscure thing to bring back for you? Maybe I'm off. Like, honestly, I'm asking legitimately. Like, maybe I'm off base because, like I said, I'm not a Siamese Dream zombie. Like, obviously, I'm familiar with the album, but like that whole era, I was like, in like second grade or whatever. So I'm not like as intimately familiar. Does that like this just say maybe thing seem a little random to you, or was that more iconic than I'm aware of it having
Well,
been?
so it is a reissue design in that an original Siamese Dream era tour shirt that I just looked up, I pulled up on Google actually, that it was black with the star and then the Smashing Pumpkins name in the Murder She Wrote font on the front, and then Just Say Maybe on the back. So that was
Which was like, I believe, a reference to the Just Say No, like
okay.
anti-drug campaign. That's what I had read, people
And
explaining
that's
it as.
and maybe that is true. So then to reissue that era shirt in a new design, I understand it. I don't know how many people will necessarily appreciate or understand the historical significance to it. To your point, like I'm a big Siamese Dream fan, but it didn't resonate with me that much when I first saw it. And I think, but the one part about this shirt that I understand, but I hate is that it was created to be vintage looking, right? It's created to look like it
Well,
was like,
it looks fucking vintage because it was threadbare and see-through from the
well,
promo picture. So if it's meant to look like it comes from like 30 years ago, they succeeded on that
and
end. But
that's
I'm
the
not sure it was intentional.
well, and maybe that's where you and I are crazy because I actually am giving the benefit of the doubt that it was intentional to make it look vintage and road worn and washed up. And you clearly are not giving them that benefit of the doubt.
I
Okay.
mean, maybe you're right. I'm just so jaded based on what we've been getting and the quality of it that going back to the hat, like it is par for the course, like when it comes to quality. So, maybe she was aiming for that like vintage,
Yeah.
worn, like
Yeah.
vibe. I don't know.
That was the first thought that I had in my head. But like it looks like a dish rag, like quite frankly. Like it looks like it's been washed 300 times. And again, don't get me wrong. Sometimes the best shirts and hoodies and stuff like that are the ones that have been washed 3,000 times, super soft, super comfortable, comforting, warm. There's something to be said about that.
Mm-hmm.
But this look, I'm not spending $50 on a dish rag looking shirt with that on the like, I'm not buying that shirt.
And is it
Like,
gonna fall apart in the wash? Like I'm still so angry about my Zeitgeist shirt.
right.
Like I almost want to go grab it. I think it's actually in the washing machine, but
Yeah.
I mean, we can go down that road later if we want to do a merch deep dive. But
We should.
my final comment on the Siamese Dream shirt is it's okay. At least when she showed the teaser for it,
Yeah.
I wasn't able to decipher what was like written on the back, and I'm just glad it's not a lyrics tee.
But
So
does it make any difference if it says a lyric on the back or if it says 30 years of Just Say Maybe?
God, it might even be worse that it says 30 years of just saying maybe.
I think it's worse. I think it's actually worse for it to say 30 years of Just Say Maybe. I would rather if it actually had, like, I would even want it, even if it said the killer in me is the killer in you. I would rather that, I think.
God, you're right. Like, I didn't really think about it that in depth. My first reaction was relief that it wasn't another lyrics tee, but like, God, wow,
right?
our minds are twisted when we're like, fuck, I hate lyrics tees, and then look at that and go, it might have been better if it was a fucking lyrics tee. Like, what is going on? I don't know. But it's okay. It's a pass. It's a hard pass for me.
Yeah, fine. Either way, it don't matter, is what I think we'll say.
Can we discuss the fucking tank top? Because now Kareen had been posting like crowdsourcing opinions about like fucking crop tops and tank tops, and people out there were voting for wanting a tank.
Yeah.
So I don't remember the poll results, but I mean, it wasn't zero.
Right.
People who wanted it.
And what I'll say is that, again, obviously I'm not in the demographic of wearing Smashing Pumpkins tank tops, but again, it's the World is a Vampire logo emblazoned all over the front in orange, and it's a $50 tank top. And
Like a $50 tank top.
now what I will say again, so I went to a Hailstorm concert last week with a friend of mine, and she got a tank top. And she wanted the tank top, and she also spent $50 on a tank top. So it's like,
Okay.
this is consistent. It's not, I'm not just picking on Billy in this situation.
Okay.
I have no commentary because I would never wear one. I would never buy one. There's nothing to speak about in terms of the logo that's any different than what we have on other things.
It's like the hat reflected in a tank top.
Yep. And so, but this one's not VIP exclusive.
Yeah, I'm biased. I'm not gonna ever buy a tank top of anyone. And I'm usually, like, in the past I've been disappointed because there's been like cooler imagery on a tank top, and I'm like, I'm just gonna have to pass because, like, that's not my thing. Sure. If you love a tank top and you love this burnt orange motif, like, go off.
Go off. Yep. And then the last thing is we have the standard zero long sleeve. So that's been around for a long time. Nothing to speak about, I don't think.
I think the new edition is, again, the graphics, the star copied and pasted along the sleeve.
Yeah.
That's the new twist for that one, I guess.
Yeah. So, well, I feel like we've done a pretty good job of talking about the tour opener of the World is a Vampire North America tour, summer, fall of 2023. Any final comments, my friend?
I mean, in my mind, there's still a lot to discuss. That will happen another day. Because you were like, oh, should we start out discussing the person behind all of this or just the merch? And I'm going to have to, like, do some bullet point notes for that. So if we decide to go into that topic, we'll do so a little bit more prepared in the future. But for now, I'm excited for the tour. Let's just be real. I would have been excited regardless because I'm a sick fuck. Like, he could go up there and jerk off for an hour. I mean, that might even be preferable.
I was about to say, you're just describing your own wet dream is all you are.
So yeah, regardless, I would have been excited. The set list, pleasant surprise for me.
Yep.
I think we expected maybe something a little more lackluster, and that wasn't the case. So,
yeah, I think I'm the same way. I mean, and there's one thing that we haven't spoken about that I know you get frustrated with a lot is, so it seems like the lineup of the band has maintained it's been relatively static since the reunion with Billy, James, Jeff, Jimmy. Oh, God. Jimmy, Jack on bass, and Katie Cole on background vocals and supporting instrumentation. Now, I know you mentioned to me that you didn't even know that Katie was back on tour.
No, that was a shock for me.
That was a moment. You had a moment there.
Dude, I was like devastated. And I want to just like be really upfront. I have seriously nothing against her whatsoever. Yeah. Nothing against her voice or like any of her artistry. Like, she's fine.
Yeah.
It has absolutely nothing to do with her. I've been just frustrated with the female background vocals in general on the recordings for a while, kind of being beaten into the ground. Like, and to me, they seem a little bit misplaced with the sound. Her voice juxtaposed against Billy's, like, it just is dissonant for me. Like, I'm not a fan of it. It like grew on me a bit with Autumn.
Yeah.
I understand why they're there on Autumn more so than Seer. If we're gonna go by his storyline and everything like that.
Sure.
But yeah, I'm just hoping that God, I don't even know. I'm just hoping it's not as bad as I'm imagining it's going to be live with her. And like I said, I feel bad even saying that because it's literally she has a great voice. It's nothing about that for me.
Right.
It's just um
I
yeah, I
understand.
don't know.
And I totally get that. And I I'm gonna say that it's less
Perturbed.
jarring. Yeah, it's less jarring to me than it is to you. So I'm okay with it. I don't necessarily have an opinion of it either way. Um, but I understand. Um, but yeah, for me, and you know this, I've been going through a lot of stuff in my life recently, and I had originally intended to travel for this tour. When I bought tickets, I bought a front row of a middle section rather than on the floor. I was taking a little bit of a more subdued approach to this tour. I'm recently out of a relationship, and the intention was I was going to bring my partner with me. So, it made sense that we were going to have nice seats and we didn't have to fight for sight lines and we didn't need to do all of that.
Are you going to make an announcement of your decision to purchase a GA
No,
ticket?
I did not buy a GA ticket. No, but what I'm saying is that because of all of this kind of mental stuff that I've been going through, and I'll be very honest when I say I was still hesitant on whether or not I was going to go or not. Like, I still wasn't sure. But I confirmed my plane ticket the other night. I bought my plane ticket. I have my living arrangement set up. So I am going to Toronto. I have not purchased an additional GA ticket at this point. So I'm going to stick in my front row seat of a midsection. And I don't have a partner to come with right now, so I'll put my feet up and that'll be that. So I'm excited. And again, my decision to purchase my plane tickets were 100% driven by the fact that I saw the set list. So I'm really, really happy.
That's good. I knew this time was gonna like confirm it for you. The second that you said, "Oh my God, they're playing this time,"
I know.
no, like I'm gonna just be 100% honest. I don't think much of anything could have deterred you, and maybe I'm biased because I've had the same cycle before a
Yep.
show. You remember? I'm like, I'm not going. I'm not going. And then like day of, I just like text you a picture of like Billy is Mike from the front. Like,
Right.
well,
Well, and like you and I've had this exactly where it's like you're like, I'm not going, or like, I'm not gonna go in the front. I'm not gonna line up for 3 hours to get in the front. I'm not gonna be in the front.
yeah,
And then you're right in the front, right? So it's like I totally
instinct
get it.
just takes over.
I get it.
Well, I know you are going through some things, so I'm like, oh, like I hope he does go. I hope he does go. But deep down, I'm like, I know us. I know how we operate. We've been through this cycle how many fucking times now?
It's true. It's true.
And
So,
I'm very glad it seems we're both locked in.
yeah.
Like my only other like weird remark about the tour is I was really hoping to go to at least a couple shows.
Mm-hmm.
But like it's so oddly scheduled. Like nothing was close. That was the only thing. The show I'm going to is the only thing remotely like close enough to me. I did want to actually go to the Toronto show, but due to work, I couldn't. But there's like nothing else that I really have like time to travel to. Like there's nothing like so it seems kind of like a weird jumping around point
Well,
with the
and the whole tour and even the venues and the stops that they're making it's just weird. Like the two Canadian stops are Toronto and Ottawa. Ottawa makes zero sense to me. Like that one makes zero sense other than convenience because they're already in Toronto and it's Labor Day weekend. They may as well stay in the country. Montreal would have made more sense, but open invitation. If you're able to hire somebody to take your shift that day at work, fly up to Toronto. You can have my ticket. You can have my ex-partner's ticket. But
don't tempt me because like my fight or flight instantly started kicking in with
well, again,
What?
open invitation. You can have my ex-partner's ticket for free if you just hop on a plane and come to Toronto. So like you and I have not experienced the show next to each other before. So that's why I think it would actually be wild. It would be wild. It would be
If it doesn't happen, which I'm going to be honest, I don't think I can hack it this time. It's
okay.
got to happen. I feel like this there's going to be another tour imminent,
Yeah.
somewhat like close to this one. So we'll just have to wait and see on that. But
Well, we'll see when the rock album comes out, and
the rock
the
album,
rock album's gonna come out, and then it's gonna be a full scale autumn tour instead. So, uh,
you
this
never
makes no
know.
sense. It makes
You
no
never
sense
know.
that they toured before autumn came out, and they're touring after autumn came out, and they are not supporting autumn at all. Like that just makes no sense to me. They played more autumn songs on the
I
fucking
know.
on the first
On
tour
the
than they
last
are on this
tour.
tour. Like at
And
least
also, like, okay, I'm just flashing back to that slide I shared of Billy's old Q&As where he's like, I will never again like debut new songs on a tour because the
yeah,
fans ruin that. Like I'm paraphrasing.
yeah.
But then we got more of that during the last tour with Autumn than this one. So
Well,
yeah, I'm
exactly.
there with you. I don't know. I'm like, did the podcast series, was that his okay, I've supported this album now? Is that like the thought process or
I don't
I don't know.
I can't imagine I I can't imagine that the album has made money, right? Like I mean like I can't imagine that it I just can't. Like
And we've discussed how many 1333 of
yeah.
the vinyl. Was that just for the signed edition?
There were 1333 signed,
Okay.
1333
Mhm.
unsigned. So
Okay.
I think I can do the math right now. So on the signed 1333 times 500, that's 666,000. 1333 times 250 for the unsigned. So so they made $1 million in gross sales for those boxes. But they couldn't have been cheap to produce.
And they took forever to sell. Like we've had this discussion.
Yeah.
You would think, and I'm just gonna talk about the signed box set because
Yeah.
that was like the big thing. Like we were like, there are enough diehards. That
Yeah.
number sounds about right. To where you would have thought it would have sold out a lot quicker than it did. I mean,
Right.
I bought it. I got this freaking text alert about it and texted you immediately. I think you were driving and pulled over. I don't even know.
No,
What
that's
happened
exactly what
to you.
happened. I was driving and I pulled over to order it when you texted me.
And I bought it and I was like, I don't even know what the fuck I just spent $500+ on. I didn't even read it. I'm just like, oh my God. And
Right.
then like,
I know.
yeah, then I went over, the Mylar, the space age Mylar packaging and all of the perks and stuff later, but
Yeah.
that's enough. That's that box set saga.
That's a whole episode. That's a whole episode. That's a whole episode. Okay. So we are running out of time with our free thing again, so that we don't get cut off. I think this will wrap up our pilot. This was great. I'm going to send you the audio and let's listen to it. And like I think that we have potential here. I really do.
Yeah.
I think there's potential. So we need to think about how we're going to do this, and we should actually put together a schedule and all that kind of stuff. But like,
and some more structure, I think. But I think overall the banter and
the banter's fun.
going into topics that I feel like others wouldn't really touch, and just being candid about it. Like,
Yeah.
I know us, like we are diehard fans, and it's tough in this community because if you have anything to say that's not
Yep.
like positive, the like toxic positivity culture,
Yeah.
like that some people in this fandom hold on to. I think it's a good thing to have some people that clearly are huge fans of the band. Like I'm a Billy stan. He can like do little to no wrong overall in my mind, but I do have criticism of him. It doesn't mean that
Yep.
I don't like,
Yep. I agree. It's like you can love and still be critical, right? And at the core, listen, that man gets all my money, so whatever. But
yeah.
On that note, I think I'm excited to see where this goes.